As Frank said, we're blessed. We got a great group of speakers today, and so I wanted just to ask if Coach Hilgartner could come on up right now. You know, Coach Hilgartner has been around Baltimore for a long time now. Got connected to FCA actually way back in the day, and he'll share a little about that story. But for those that don't know, Coach Hilgartner is the head coach at McDonogh and was blessed to win an MIAA championship last season. So Coach is going to share a little bit just from his heart today, and we appreciate you being here.
Great to be here. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks to FCA for having me here. I wrote a bunch of notes, and hopefully I won't have to refer to them. I just want to kind of speak off the cuff from the heart. But a long time ago, when I first became a coach, I started going to the US Lacrosse Coaches Convention, like some of you in this room here. I don't know if it was in Teaneck, New Jersey, or Stamford, Connecticut. But it's been a lot of places over the years before it found its home here in Baltimore, and I learned a lot. And those conventions really were incredible for me. Just getting the wealth of knowledge from all the great coaches in the game, learning a lot, developing relationships, seeing old friends, which I continue to this very day, seeing a college teammate in the back, and just being part of this special group of people in the lacrosse world. And I can remember going to those clinics and, you know, being a little bit younger back then, seeing a lot of friends, wanting to hang out with them after the clinics were over and the speakers were finished, and stay up kind of late, enjoy the night. And there was always Frank there saying, you know, Hilgy, we got the breakfast tomorrow morning, FCA breakfast, 7 a.m. You're going to be there, right? You're going to be there. And still wandering around the lobby, going out to all the coaches, making sure that everybody was going to wake up at 6:30 and get down there to breakfast. And some years I was more successful in getting out of bed to get there, some years not. But so I feel like it's kind of come full circle now. I just want to talk a little bit about how I got involved with FCA Lacrosse and FCA in general, and what it's done in my life, and some different ways that it's impacted me, and now kind of where things are. So backing up a ways back, I went to Calvert Hall here in Baltimore, and when I was a sophomore, Frank came back from Cornell and started FCA at Calvert Hall. And they would have meetings on Thursday mornings at 7:30 a.m. Again, waking up early. It's kind of a theme, I guess. But my ride to school was Frank's brother, Brian. And Brian was going to be going to the FCA meetings on Thursdays. And so really I had no choice in the matter. For Thursdays, I had to get up early. I had to get my ride to school. And so I started going to the FCA meeting. Didn't really have any idea what they were about. Didn't really understand what they were talking about, really, but I went. My other motivation for going to FCA was that Frank was the assistant coach on the varsity lacrosse team. So as a sophomore, I was thinking, okay, you know, I don't know what they're talking about at these meetings. I have no idea what's going on, but maybe by being there, it might help me a little bit to get that spot on the varsity team. So, you know, I started going to the meetings in September, October, tryouts come around in February, and of course I got cut. So FCA didn't really help out too much in that regard. I still remember the day being on the tennis courts. We're doing stick work on the tennis courts with snow all over the grass, and Coach Thomas just cutting guys left and right as soon as you missed a pass. I'm pretty sure he had the varsity team already put together, but Hilgartner report to JV are words that still stick in my mind from that practice. And you know, I think we go about things a little differently as far as how we cut kids now, with, you know, family talks and, you know, making sure everybody feels good about it, and that there's still hope in the future. Coach Thomas didn't really worry about that too much back then. It was just like, I got my team, get off the court. But being part of FCA, as I continue to go, I was raised in a Catholic family, going to church every Sunday. With the exceptions of those days where my parents dropped us off and my brothers and I went in, grabbed the bulletin, went out the back door to Dunkin' Donuts for a while, came back, and then, you know, got back in time to get picked up by my parents and gave them the bulletin to show them they'd been there. And I don't know if anybody can relate to that in this room, but when I was in church growing up, I wondered a lot, like what were these priests talking about? What was God and what was His role? What did that mean for me? And it never really clicked. And it didn't click until I became involved with FCA. And then, you know, I'm looking around at FCA, I'm with other athletes, other people that have very similar interests to me, coaches and leaders of the group that I really respected. And I started realizing that there is more, and that there can be a personal connection with God, that it's not just something for an hour every Sunday. And so FCA kind of at Calvert Hall started me on that path. And I grew a lot in high school, but really still was kind of a clueless high school kid. Fast forward a little bit to college, I stayed really involved with FCA, Athletes in Action, Champions for Christ, whatever else they had on campus. I went to Michigan State when they had a lacrosse program and played there, and had a great experience and stayed involved in Christian fellowship as much as I could. And then the winter of my junior year, Frank called and said, hey, we're going to put together an FCA lacrosse team that's going to go to the Vail shootout. And I'd never been to Vail before, but I heard a lot about the shootout. And for those of you that have been, you know Vail's an amazing place. The lacrosse competition is incredible. The social scene is off the charts. It's pretty amazing. A lot of young people out there. It's a lot of fun. And so we go out. We have this ragtag kind of group of guys on the team. Some really good players and a lot of role players like myself, and just guys that were just, you know, kind of excited to be playing in this great tournament. We go out, and this is in 1992, and we win our first game, and then we're playing Green Turtle in the next game. One of the best teams ever assembled. Coach Petro, Gary Gate, Jimmy Beardmore, Wayne McPartland, the list goes on and on. And somehow we beat them in double overtime and kind of shocked the lacrosse world. We went on to the championship. We lost to a great Mount Washington team. But I really think God used that year, that summer of 1992, to shake things up in the lacrosse world and really get FCA lacrosse on the map. And it was great to be part of that. For me personally, it was a huge step in my faith. I had a lot of friends of mine that were at that tournament, playing on other teams, wondering when I was getting to the bar, wondering why I wasn't having a beer on the sideline at the game. And it really gave me the opportunity to talk about why I was there and what FCA's purpose was being there, and to kind of talk about my faith. So it was a huge step in me and my growth, from that point of view, and just kind of being true to myself and who I was, and making sure people knew what was important in my life. So I really count that. I mean, it was an amazing story out there in Vail. I know they're doing a documentary on it. They had an article on Inside Lacrosse recently, so I'm sure you'll hear more about that 1992 team and the impact it had in the lacrosse world. But from a personal point of view, it had a major impact in my life. Fast forward, I graduated from college, and believe it or not, this is my 24th year of being a high school lacrosse coach. I started at Calvert Hall as a volunteer assistant. I was at Swickley Academy in Pittsburgh for 6 years, St. Mary's Annapolis for 3 years, Woodbury Forest, Virginia for 2 years, McDonogh for a year, Severn for a year, and now I've been back at McDonogh for 10 years. It's been an amazing ride. But as a young coach and a young man, there were a lot of days where I was like, what is going on? Like, where am I supposed to be? Where is my path? When I was single, I was thinking, okay, who am I supposed to marry? When am I going to have kids? Where am I going to be? While God was always a constant, there was still that anxiety there. Somebody shared a verse with me a long time ago from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Acknowledge Him. Seek Him first, and your paths will be made straight. And I probably paraphrased that a little bit. But, part of that verse says, lean not on your own understanding. And back then, my understanding was very limited. I just didn't really know kind of where I was supposed to be in the world. And so to have that verse of, you don't need to worry about your own kind of understanding of the world. Trust in God. He'll have your back. He's got a plan for you. That spoke to me. That really reassured me and gave me confidence that no matter what happened, no matter what doors were open or doors were closed, that God had that plan for my life. And as I look back and see the opportunities that I had or opportunities that were taken away, I can see God's hand and kind of directing my life. And each step along the way, He was preparing me for whatever my next experience would be. So those relationships, those people that I met, the coaching opportunities, the teaching opportunities, it was all part of the plan to kind of prepare me and give me the experiences that I needed to be successful at the next stop, and to kind of help grow in my faith and help grow with others. I'm now been married now for a long time. I have 3 kids at McDonogh. I'm happy to say that I'm still very involved with FCA. We have an FCA huddle group at McDonogh that meets every Friday morning. Great group of kids. It's so refreshing to see their honesty and how real they are with the questions they ask and how they come each week, really just trying to grow in their faith and realize, like I did back in high school, what this was all about. My son plays on the FCA 2019 team. He's had a great experience with the players, friendships that I know he'll have for life, coaches and mentors that have really helped him out in a lot of different ways. So it's been great being part of FCA. I know the impact FCA had on my life, and I think that FCA can impact everyone's lives in this room, especially the younger players. No matter where you are, as Frank said, in your faith, FCA can connect in ways that a lot of other areas of our society cannot connect. And so I'm pleased to continue to be involved with it, and I hope that you all stay involved or get involved if you're not at this point. And I'm just grateful to be here, and I want to thank you guys for being here as well. So enjoy the rest of the day.